come so far. Like we've made very slowly we've made our way forward. We've gotten, but they're scared. We scared them because then they had no power anymore, and now they have it all back. And that wasn't supposed to happen in my lifetime. It was supposed to keep getting better. It was supposed to be, oh, this is something of the past, and now it's here again, and I don't understand that. I thought we were making progress as a country and a world, but no. I was lied to.
I really did think we were getting a lot better, and then it just feels like this one thing, if it is overturned, it's just gonna be, like you said, just a domino effect that will just reverse
Handmaid's Tale.
all of the work we've done.
It's funny that you said that because me and my friend were just talking about that. She recently had a baby and she is already kind of thinking like, how can I get back on birth control? Because usually right after you're pregnant, that's when you're the most fertile, and sometimes you can have two right in a row. Like some people call them like Irish twins. Have you heard of that before? Okay. Yeah. So like basically having baby right in a row because once you are active again, your body's like, oh, you're supposed to do this again, and prepares you for it. So she's already kind of looking into like, ulterior options because she just had a baby and she doesn't want to have another one. They're scary and he's crying all the time. Anyway, I'm just kidding. He really is though. He has colic right now. Do you guys know what that is? Basically, your baby is just like inconsolable. They just like scream all the time, and it's nothing that she did. It's just genetic, basically. Crazy. She went to the doctor yesterday and went, I don't know, I just feel bad for her. It reinforces all my decisions.
Yeah.
Education makes it that much harder to get higher paying jobs. It makes it harder to get a further education. Everything is always just going to be harder. And I hope, not always ideally, but at least for the time being, throughout my lifetime and the next, it's always going to be more difficult.
Thank you. Okay.
I had like something to say after every person said something, so I'm like trying to sort through my thoughts. I feel like that's what people don't understand when like the whole BLM movement, when everybody said systematic racism. It's not that everyone in America is racist, it's that the entire system and economy is against them. It's like set up so that they stay at the bottom and white people stay at the top. And it's just like if they don't, again, like if they're born into poor areas or economic status, then they can't get bigger, better schools, or because then schools cost more, and if they cost more, they can't afford that. And then going to college is incredibly expensive. If you go to college, you can get degrees. So then higher paying jobs is like, oh, like we don't want you. And then if they can't get higher paying jobs, they can't get stable enough financial status to then raise their kids. So it's just a constant cycle of birthing more children into the poor economic status, and they cannot get out. And so they're forced into walls. Like it's like forcing someone into a corner. Like they have to do whatever it takes to feed their family. And it's just like everybody sees them as like
It's a system.
villain.
Thank you. Uwali, Luna.
If my mom's like, we're going to Safeway because of the coupons, I won't go. I feel really uncomfortable. Yeah, I get, like obviously I know no one probably is. It's just a state of like, oh my god, there's a lot of white people here. And we are the only like colored people here in the store. And it makes me so uncomfortable. And it should not be like that. And probably, I'm sure some white people feel like that too, coming into Hispanic or colored communities. They're like, I'm the only white person here.
I mean, that's how I feel working back a house, because I had to like fight to get a place back a house, because if you show up for a job interview, it doesn't matter, but you know this with Urelli. If you show up for a job interview, they'll tell you front of house interview, they'll tell you back of house interview, but if you show up and if you're a person of color, they're gonna throw you back a house.
I feel internally kind of guilty sometimes, even though I didn't choose it either. I feel like sometimes I should use the privileges that I've afforded in a better way or in a more
You gotta do what you gotta do, right?
I don't know. I think that sometimes either way, it's uncomfortable For sure. Okay. Let's end with a good one. What kind of world would it be if there was just no racism or prejudice? Do you think so? Do you think people would get along? Or do you think there would just be another thing we'd fight over?
There probably be so much more things we fight over. Let's be honest. We're a country that just
Human
can't.
prejudice, does that include weird people?
Yes, I would include that.
Okay,
for
lovely.
sure.
If there was none of that, then yeah, classism. But that's still prejudice, isn't it?
Yeah.
So if we lived in a world without any of that, does that it would go down to the way schools are cliquey, everything else would be more cliquey, the outside world would be more cliquey. But even that I consider some form of prejudice.
Is
If
there any form of like sunshine and daisies and
No,
rainbows
that's
and everybody
not
loves each other?
The eradication of the
not in the world.
So just start over?
That sounds like a.
Y'all remember what Ultron said when Earth turns to shit, God throws a stone at it and he's winding up? Yeah. He's been one.
Fair enough. Fair
I want
enough.
that stone already.
Okay, so on your assignment for today,
Because it's homophobic. It's a gay character, and he has a really high pitched voice. He sings all the high parts. He cries a lot. He's constantly in search of some boyfriend. He's
it's kind of stereotypes in itself, right?
yeah. He's a stereotype character. They've based an entire character off of the stereotype of being gay. He wants to be on Broadway. Blah 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 blah. And people I've had conversations with people about because I like to generally I have something in common with a character from a show, and I like to figure out which character it is. And people have always been like, no, you're Kurt. Why?
But you find someone else in the show more like you?
Yeah,
Okay.
like anyone else in the show. I don't sit there in front of my mirror and do my skincare every night. No,
You have very nice skin though.
thank you.
It would be like a doctor watching Grey's Anatomy. Most of it, they would be like, this is not accurate. You know what I
My
mean?
dad
Like,
hates it.
so I don't know. Even Abbott Elementary, I started watching that.
Yeah.
But then when they're just so correct about how much it sucks in certain parts, I'm like, I can't watch this.
Didn't you say you watched Euphoria?
Yes.
How's that?
is.
I know that's kind of
Enlightening.
nowhere near our school, but
It's very similar to someone's.
kind of agree.
So
Literally.
Euphoria, I would say, is hardcore, but my high school was very similar in certain aspects of their depictions. We definitely had those cliques. We definitely had the girl that was kind of different. We definitely had the football crazy and then the cheerleader vibe. It was very similar to that. Or have you ever seen Friday Night Lights?
Yeah.
That kind of vibe, more like the TV show. But the drugs to me weren't super surprising. The sex and the violence, that was a little bit more surprising.
I would be more surprised by the drugs than sex and violence.
In Euphoria?
Where people get drugs from. My parents
Yeah.
don't do drugs. I don't know where to get them.
That's the thing. My parents were always like, people are gonna try to give me free drugs. Not once has that ever happened in my entire life. Nobody's ever like, hey, you want this? No, it doesn't happen. All right, you have to seek it. So you're pretty
I have
good.
been offered many times.
Really?
Yes.
What the hell? Where do you hang out?
I know. I don't know.
No, I hang out with
Yeah,
older
Harris,
kids.
I
hang out
have to
at
work
home.
for that shit.
Wow.
I was gonna
Okay,
say
that's-
the most is probably going to the bathroom or something.
Yeah.
My mom
Have it.
Nice. It's not that hard on drugs. My mom's
I mean, dispensaries, yeah, but just people on the street,
Yes.
they just be offering. You gotta know
I'm
the
like,
right.
almost twice a
You
day.
gotta know the right.
Well,
Daddy, what are you doing?
I'm not
doing
nothing.
anything. I
Oh, wait.
swear.
No, actually, I remember baseball away games last year.
No, there was- no,
We were
there was-
outside- we were outside of a Safeway. They were just waiting for
It's just defending you about it. I'm like, oh, don't do that. I don't need yourself.
Remember that homeless lady after the basketball game? They were like, Harris, we need you. I started running. I was like, oh my god, what is happening?
We passed that place on the way home from a baseball game, and I was like,
Memories. Hi. What's up, Christian?
That's really sad.
I thought that was only the.
When I was a kid, my father used to be a small loan of $1 million or something like that. And it's this person's stupid. He's a
I know a
joke.
lot about
He's not
trucks.
gonna be it's just, I feel like everyone that I knew saw him as a joke. Why is he even running when he's literally so stupid? And then I found out he was elected, and I was like, why?
Thanks for
literally
doing the rascal.
Oh my god.
a stupid old fat white man.
I mean,
Like,
aren't all of
That
them?
golfs.
Like I was just because again I was in 5th grade and all I saw was just like stupid memes. So I was just
I
like,
mean, while I classify as a Democrat, I mean, Obama promised so many things that didn't deliver.
Okay, but there was difficulty.
Yeah, of course there's difficulty. There's always going to be difficulty, but I feel like he promised certain things, and then it just really, in his first 4 years, he was very cautious. In his last 4 years, I would say he was more aggressive. But also remember that he's the one that kind of like had created a lot of the things that set Trump up to be able to make all those executive orders. You know, like when he started deporting certain people, certain numbers, and then putting quotas and caps and things like that, it got a slippery slope, and then other people are going to take what he did and run with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Michelle Obama is the love of my life.
so Obama.
I love how they got out scandal free. Like I really thought that there was going to be some sort of big to do, and unfortunately, like smear at least one
Yeah.
or more of the person.
Were you into Bernie?
Heavily.
I know a lot
I've
of
listened to
people-
him actually at a rally in Brooklyn in 2014, and this was.
And then I'm gonna be set for the rest of the year.
You're lying to children. The whole, if I procreate, I swear there's no such bull crap.
But why
I'm
would you
not-
want to do that?
Also, breaking. You're constantly telling people like it's okay
I may
that
be
this man
biased
breaks and
because I
enters your
really
house
don't
every
think
single year.
I always thought
No,
that
I-
Stanislav
I-
Air was creepy. I never liked him.
And it's like even when you're like my parents have like 5-6 straight years like pictures of like every year of me just screaming and crying on Santa's lap.
So you knew the
And
vibes.
they always pull them out. They're always like, look at how funny, look at how like it has always made me so uncomfortable, and I've always told my parents like, please stop. Like that wasn't fun for me, and you're making it like entertainment.
Maybe
and
that's
it's
why you
just-
have like candid photos.
And it's
better.
just crying and screaming. And they're like, oh, look at how funny. It's like that was like traumatizing for me. Like I hate going to the mall and seeing Christmas Santas now.
Yeah.
And like now you have reservations sometimes to do it with your kids.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm like, so you're telling me I had to wait like a long ass time.
Also, like the beginnings of capitalism for your teeth were so weird. You know? Did anybody else's mom like put glitter on your dollar or whatever she
Yeah.
did?
No, my mom
Yeah.
kept my teeth.
It was really weird.
My parents were dead ass about it.
That's why you like serial killers. She had a whole closet full of your own hair too.
Tooth fairy?
Angel, wait,
It's
what are you gonna tell
actually
us?
a good thing
To keep your teeth?
Yeah, because they have like I forgot what it was, but if you get like cancer or like a disease when you're older, they can use your baby teeth to like help.
So you have brand new babies.
teeth.
I can
Yeah, my
see
hair
somebody's
have all
like
of my
people
teeth.
like with a mortar and pestle right now, like,
Like,
I
oh,
will
you like
live
a tooth fairy?
forever.
Look at
I will
this.
live forever.
I certainly have all of my
years
sisters.
She has your teeth in
No,
a
no,
jar.
it's fine.
And the next day I
Never
found
leave
it, I
me.
threw it away immediately that time.
Yeah.
Thank God. She
It's
probably
like
has
that
your
Black
toenail
Dahlia
clippings
bird
from the
song.
first time.
She
Wait.
was like my first
Jars.
baby clothes.
Oh my God, my mom kept the little thing they like cut off. What's that called? Some cord. Yes, she cut that and put it in a scrapbook and was like, look. I was like,
Why the fuck is it in a scrapbook?
You-
Yeah, this is my child's umbilical cord. How does that look?
That's like, yeah, let's do the fucking placenta.
This is how it
Oh, I don't.
Literally.
You want to get
It's
really
fucking
gross
gross.
though? Like modern times.
Placentas
Did you
are-
know that sometimes it's really good
I
for
don't
the
think
mother
you
to
know
like
what placenta is.
consume
Yeah.
the thing? So they
Huh?
they'll take the placenta, like the sac that the baby comes in. They'll take that out and then they'll like dry it and put it into capsules, so you don't have to like actually eat it, like Daenerys and like